In life, you don't get to prepare, do you? There's no dress rehearsal for life, is there? Hello, everybody. Today is November 8th. It also happens to be my day 180. Doing a 180 today. 180 days. Today is Tuesday. Friday is my 6th month of hormones. So, yahoo, wahoo. But today's election day, as you can tell. I just got back from voting, and I wanted to record the occasion because today's the last day that, I went to the polling place and showed my driver's license, and they looked at the guy that's on the driver's license, and next year they won't, or next election cycle rather, there won't be a little driver's license with a picture of a guy on it. It'll be whatever I look like at the time, and hopefully the little gender marker on there will be a big old F instead of an M. But so this is my last voting day as a male. But I did vote, and I wanted to record the occasion and talk a little bit about the voting this year. This year, while it was somewhat polarizing, we had Hillary Clinton, who seems like she's been around forever. In the last 20 years, kind of holding on, trying to run for president. Most first ladies would have done something else, but she kind of stuck around, and she became the senator from New York, even though she didn't live in New York. She later did, but it was one of those things. She's the, president's wife, and then she's the ex-first lady, and they lived in Arkansas, and then they lived in Washington, and then all of a sudden she's running for state senator for New York. It's like, wait a minute. But anyway, and then after that, we all know the last election cycle she ran, was going to be president, and kind of gave it up for Barack Obama and kind of settled into Secretary of State, I think. Shows you how much I really know. And this last time was like, all right, this is my time. I've waited. I'm going to go for it. And there she is. So love her, hate her. There she is. Her main opponent this time around was a billionaire, Donald J. Trump, who, like him or hate him, love him or despise him, he was the Republican. And, personally, I think he's a pompous asshole. He was not a politician. He was an outsider. As far as a billionaire playboy could be, he was the other major candidate. And so I think Hillary Clinton is definitely more of a politician and is able to manipulate and maneuver, and I think by definition that makes her a little crooked, in one, two-headed, two-faced, whatever. And like I said, he was a jerk. So I heard in the line this morning more than one person say, well, we have Dumb and Dumber, and doesn't matter which is which, Rosencrantz or Guildenstern. Really does not matter. 2 turkeys on the ticket. And of course, in this election cycle, I heard, well, you're not voting for so-and-so, you're voting against so-and-so, or you're voting for the lesser of two evils. And I came across a really cool quote from Jerry Garcia, God rest his soul, who said something about when you consistently vote for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. That's pretty neat, I think. Also on the ticket in all 50 states was Gary Johnson, a libertarian candidate who seemed to be pretty darn cool, to be honest. Kind of a mixture of some policies, definitely a little out there as far as wanting to legalize marijuana, and probably not the most astute person However, Gary Johnson was governor of Arizona. He was reelected in a Democratic state. He ran as a Republican, and they reelected him. So I think he had another, kind of like Hillary, he had the know with how to get things done, even if some of his things were kind of out there. Not on the ballot in all 50 states, but on the ballot in some states was Jill Stein, who was the Green Party candidate. Out of all the candidates, the one that most closely reflected my opinions really was Jill Stein. However, she, I think, will for always be, unfortunately, labeled as kind of a wacko person. However, sometimes, and not wacko like crazy, just, Green Party, the first thing out of your mouth is we got to save the planet. And, while I would agree with that to a degree, you're not going to really go very far on that. But the cool thing is we all get to vote, and we all vote our conscience. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for. But I thought it was pretty cool. It was a cool experience, and it is now 6:48. I was there at the polling place at 6:10, and there was already 20 or 30 people already inside. And kind of as I was driving away, I was thinking about how, the polling place is open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and, absentee ballots aside, I don't really think there's an excuse why a person cannot vote. They may have to get up early or may have to get up late, but really I don't think there's not a logical excuse. And I won't really go into the politics of, illegal aliens or IDs or whatnot. Honestly, I think if a person genuinely cares enough, they will get whatever documentation they need, whether it be a driver's license, a state ID, a birth certificate, blood sample, whatever they need, they will do ahead of time to vote. Okay? And at least that's my hope. It lets me sleep at night and whatnot. So back to the idea, this being a trans-centered video blog, it was kind of a rough decision as to who to vote for, because Hillary Clinton, I think, would not oppose openly any transgender stuff that happened to come her way. But again, as a very effective politician, she has two faces, and if enough of her Wall Street cronies and financial backers decided that it was not in the best interest for transgender anything, I honestly do think she would follow suit. Okay? And again, that's a politician. You choose, whatever it takes to get the legislation through, yada, 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 yada. And unfortunately, her record has that. Ooh, hear my voice starting to break. So again, on face value, specifically the issue that's at stake is Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act that says that healthcare providers cannot discriminate on the basis of transgender medicine. They cannot exclude, they cannot come up with special rules. And I think in the future, as that gets kind of fleshed out and taken to court and whatnot, it's a huge thing for me. How does it affect me is because I want to have surgery. I want to have gender confirming surgery or sexual reassignment surgery, sex change. And, I want to be able to have that care. And once upon a time, I would go look at my company's health insurance plan, and it was excluded, was not covered, flat out, did not have to do it. And so I like the idea that a transgender person has the ability to do that. Right now, while they can't exclude it, they can definitely make it difficult. They can add paperwork and slow it down a little bit, whatnot. But I honestly would like to see, if this was to progress, the idea that a gender reassignment surgery or gender confirming surgery would be covered just like any other surgery, whether it be an appendicitis or you break your arm and you got to have surgery to put pins in, or a hip replacement or a knee, any of that. I think it's surgery. It doesn't, if you need it, and obviously for those of us who are transgender and we need it. Why not? If I pay my bills and I meet my deductible, blah blah blah. So follow that out. And like I said, I don't think Hillary Clinton would be like, I'm going to veto the Affordable Care Act, da 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 da. Unless it was a political mechanism, she would do it if that was the case, in my opinion. Trump and Pence, which was the Republican ticket. Mike Pence, the vice president, is definitely no friend to transgender and LGBT. He is a firm believer in re-education, reconditioning, that you can be cured, and whatever else. However, he is not the president of the United States. It would be Donald J. Trump, who, as near as I can tell, he's an ass grabber. He's an ass grabber. He's a playboy. So, again, less likely, I think, to follow suit. And one of his things was to repeal Obamacare. And so that would get rid of Section 5057, and we would rewind the clock a little bit. So I would dissuade that. When asked about trans stuff and gay stuff, Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson was like, look, whatever you do in your own house is your business. As long as you don't try and tell me what to do, I'm cool with it. So, again, we're not going to force Gary or his running mate Bill Weld to have gender reassignment surgery or get transitioned. So I think we're pretty cool there. I would also gather that Jill Stein would also not object to such things. So I kind of think that all things being equal, I would lean more towards Gary Johnson, only in that he's on the ballot in all 50 states. Secondly, I would go towards Hillary Clinton, and only in that she's at least is a mouthpiece for LGBT stuff. And I think the worst would be Trump Pence. But that's just my opinion, and I'm just one person, and you get to vote however the hell you want. Isn't that wonderful? So that's amazing. So anyway, so like I said, here we are at day 180. It's election day. I hope everyone gets out and votes. I would also, something that I noticed this morning, which has nothing to do with the election, but this movie here, or series of movies, I noticed on the cup, if you can see, all right, Star Wars A New Hope, right? Episode 4, what we all grew up on as the Star Wars. Here you have Darth Vader. Okay, could be taken from him fighting Obi-Wan on the Death Star, right? We got Han Solo. Okay. Again, could be Han Solo definitely fired a blaster in New Hope. Princess Leia in her New Hope hairdo. The donuts, the Danishes on the side. Okay. Firing a little pistol, definitely Star Wars A New Hope. And then you have this guy over here, Luke, wielding a lightsaber. I don't remember Luke. Well, I guess he was training. But didn't he wear the blast helmet when he had the lightsaber? I don't have to go back and watch that. Anyway, what I'm driving at is, I don't think Luke fought with a lightsaber in A New Hope. So I've kind of been deceived. But granted, it doesn't say Star Wars A New Hope on it. It just says Star Wars. So, and speaking of Star Wars, new movie's coming out. So, all right, I'm out of time. Bye, everybody. Good luck. I hope you all voted. If you didn't, that's cool too. Still love you. And good luck in your transition and in life in general, all right? I heard a cool quote too yesterday. Someone, you say, things will work out or have faith or hang in there. And someone said, yeah, you just ride the shit wave to shore. Well, that was pretty cool. All right, bye, everybody. I'm out of time.